What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about words that Canadians say differently. Or, if you're a Canadian, this would be words that Americans say differently. Funny how that works. Although I feel like that's not a proper American attitude that I'm having. I gotta be like, listen here. We only say words one way around here, the American way. We only speak American around here. Fire up the barbecue. But obviously, that's not true. The differences between our cultures and the different way we say things and pronounce words, and even the different words we have for the same things, that's the beautiful part of this crazy different world we live in. So today we are going to appreciate some of those differences between how Americans and Canadians say things. So let's take a look.
I'm Katie, and this is Macy. I'm the Canadian, she's the American.
Okay.
And we're gonna go through a list of words pronounced differently between Americans and Canadians.
Nice.
Traffic cone, pylon.
What? Wait, what? Okay, this isn't a different pronunciation. This is just a different word. Traffic cone. You know, traffic cone's a traffic cone. I feel like that makes no sense. If you are Canadian, you must be familiar with the word pylon. I've heard of a pylon. I feel like in America that's almost like an electrical tower or something in a video game. Like it's really called a pylon? That is surprising to me. Because a traffic cone, that's the way you're supposed to say it. It's a traffic cone. It's not anything else. No, I'm just kidding. I almost want to look this one up. Pylon. Okay. When I look it up here, I guess I'm on American Google, you know, because of where I am, and it comes up with literal pictures of mostly electrical towers. But there's some traffic cones as well. What if I look up traffic cone? Traffic cone here brings up what Canadians would call pylons? I've never heard these referred to as pylons. Oh, look at this one. It's even screaming. This traffic cone is screaming because Canadians are calling it a pylon. Okay. Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Semi-truck, semi-truck.
Okay. I think this is more of what I expected out of this video. Just different pronunciations. Maybe a different accent or pronunciation, whatever you want to call it. I would definitely say semi-truck. And the Canadian said semi-truck?
Semi-truck, semi-truck.
Semi-truck. I'm okay with it. I think that would actually stick out to me if I heard that in real life. I feel like my brain would almost not register it. Be like, did they just say semi-truck differently? And then I just move on and not even really notice. But when you lay it out like this, semi-truck, semi-truck. Like in America, we say semicolon, like the character, a semicolon, the little letter, semicolon, but we say semi-truck. Maybe we're the weird ones in this one. I don't know. I might be coming around to the semi-truck. It's a semi-truck, but I'm so used to semi-truck. I wonder why that kind of thing happens, those different pronunciations.
Foyer, foyer.
Okay, now we're just getting fancy. Now Canadians are just getting fancy on me. Americans, we're simple people. We look at the word, we say it like we sees it. F-O-Y-E-R, foyer. There's a E-R at the end, foyer. Foyer, I'm going to the foyer. That's definitely how I would say it. But yeah, I would say foyer. And a Canadian would say foyer. Every now and then I'll hear an American say foyer, even though the way I read it and as it is spelled with the ER, I would never say foyer. Is this like a French thing? French sort of language trickling in? Foyer? It just sounds fancy. I don't know why, but when people say foyer, and there are some Americans who say foyer, now that I think about it, I just think, man, who are you trying to impress? With your foyers. All right, fine. The foyer is yours. You can go take it if you're going to get that fancy on me. I don't know why it sounds so fancy to me.
Sorry. Sorry.
Classic. Classic. Thank goodness that this was in the video. Sorry, and I'm gonna try. Sorry? I think that's pretty good. Sorry. It's all those years of watching Degrassi that I can do that. Sorry. This is one of the most famous differences, maybe the most famous difference between American and Canadian, an English word as far as pronunciation goes. When Americans are doing an imitation of how Canadians talk, it always comes down to sorry. And how Canadians say sorry. It makes me wonder, do Canadians use that kind of sound for all their O's? Maybe some of that will come up later in this video. But this or, sorry, like, instead of sorry. I'm actually, in my mind, trying to think about, as silly as this is, which way is more correct. The American in me, the competitive American in me is coming out, and I'm like, which one makes more sense? Just looking at the word. Sorry or sorry? If it was S-O-R-E-Y, I would say sorry. But I call this sorry. That's my I don't make the rules. That's just how I see it. Honestly, this is one of the coolest and most famous differences between Canada and America, I think, as far as talking. The sorry. Sorry.
Borrow. Borrow.
Oh, perfect. This is exactly what I was talking about. I didn't realize, wow, the differences between how Canadians speak, especially with these O words in particular, is a lot more substantial than I thought. I actually, at the beginning, we go through a full cycle here in America. If you don't know much about Canada, you think Canadians and Americans talk very differently. That Canadians have a huge accent all the time, everywhere. Oh, hey, buddy, how you going? Oh, eh? Gonna get the moose. And it's totally blown out of proportion. Then, so since I've learned that, I've reined it down, and I'm like, oh, I think we sound pretty similar. And now this video is bringing me back again to where we do have some pretty distinct differences. Instead of borrow, it's borrow. Almost British sounding to me. Borrow. Hello, honey, I'm gonna borrow the lawnmower. Yeah, I don't know why that's the first thing that comes to me. Also, the way Americans talk just seems a lot more harsh when I hear it, the Canadians speak. Borrow! Let me borrow your lawnmower, or else. Instead, if someone said that to me, I'd be like, get out of here. No. If they're like, oh, excuse me, can I borrow your lawnmower? I'd be like, take it. Take it. It is yours. You don't even have to borrow it. You can take it. It's a gift.
Colored pencil. Pencil crayon.
Unbelievable, this one. Truly. I've definitely heard this one somewhere along the line. This blows my mind. Okay. So Canadians really do call it a pencil crayon. Pencil crayon. I think, and this might be controversial, hot statement. I like colored pencil better. I think that they are pencils. You know, hold on. We need a photo to even know what we're talking about. Colored pencil. Let me get an image so we know what we're talking about. This is colored pencils, you know. They look like pencils. They have colors. They don't look like crayons. And they are not made of the same material as crayons. Crayons are kind of waxy and kind of soft and for children. Well, so are colored pencils are for children. But bad example. Crayons are waxy and soft and just a completely different writing instrument. Yes, I am going to go this... I am going to argue my case this detailed, by the way. So a crayon is not... It's not like a pencil. So to say that it's a pencil crayon, a little misleading to me. I wouldn't know what you're talking about. But apparently this is how Canadians say this item. It's an item that Americans and Canadians have a different word for, which is pretty funny. And I like colored pencil. It's a pencil, and it's got color to it. I think it perfectly describes what it is. I like it.
Pasta. Pasta.
Oh, really? Really? Getting fancy on me again, I see. Pasta. Yeah, the American version is just harsher. Pasta. Make pasta. Darn it. Pasta now. And, wow, pasta. This isn't even an O word. Like, I thought the O's were different, but now it's an A. Pasta. Oh my gosh. If Canadians use the O, like, oh, sorry, and the A, like, pasta, instead of pasta, gosh, we almost say it like it's spelled Posta. Americans might be saying this one wrong. I will give this one to the Canadians. It looks like you'd call this pasta, and Americans say pasta. I wonder why these are the way they are, the way we say things. It's so interesting.
Drama. Drama.
I can kind of instantly translate. I know what it's going to be when they say it. If an American says drama, it's the other A sound. It's drama. Ah. What is the ah sound? Is that like a long A or something? Or there's like a grammatical way to identify these sounds. We say aw, drama. Our A's are like aw. And Canadians tend to go with the ah, drama. I feel like maybe there's some northern states that kind of talk similar to this. So I've at least heard these pronunciations at some point. It's all just so different to the kind of American English I hear every day.
Take a test. Write a test.
What? Huh? Who's writing a test? You're gonna write the test, or are you gonna? Okay, I get what we're saying here. Americans say, when you're given a test in school, what are you gonna do to it to complete the test, to actually do it? You could say, I'm gonna take the test, which is what an American would say if they're going to complete the test or exam. I'm gonna take that test. Whereas Canadians would say, I'm gonna write a test? I'm gonna write the test? All right, it's hard for me to wrap my brain around because I'm interpreting it like an American. If you said write a test, that means you're telling me you're going to create the test. You are going to write the questions of the test. You're gonna write the test so that I can take it. But okay, I get it. That's a very big difference and kind of random, honestly. Canadians say I'm gonna write a test, and Americans say I'm gonna take a test. I'm familiar with the American version, and it makes a little more sense to me. I guess in Canada, you could argue that you are going to write on the test in order to do it. You have to write on it. What if it's like an online test? What if it's online? Then you can't write on it. You can't write the test. Okay, I'll stop. I think I'm going to stick with take a test, but this is a funny one. Funny difference.
I'll call you later. I'll phone you later.
Oh, really? Canadians say it like that. I'll phone you later. Americans might say I'll phone you later as like a joke. That again sounds kind of British. I might have said that once ever as a joke, like, oh, I'll phone you up later. And everyone would kind of know you're being joking a bit. But Canadians, that's the serious way of saying that you're going to call them later. You're going to phone them later. I'm okay with it. You call people on phones. I think both of these make sense. I just didn't know that Canadians said it like that. But the funny thing is, if someone said, I'll phone you later, I would know what they're saying. It's not like I'd be completely baffled. I'd know what they are saying. If they said I'm going to write the test, I would be genuinely confused. I would actually be confused what they're talking about if they said I'm going to write the test. But phone you later, I do understand. It's just a strange way of saying it in America, but normal in Canada. And is I'll call you later, would that be strange in Canada? Wow.
Bathroom. Washroom.
Oh, this one I learned not that long ago, actually. And it kind of blew my mind. For one thing, washroom, fancy. Canadians, you're fancy. You don't know it, but you don't know how fancy you are. But to Americans, when you say some of these words, it sounds fancy or something. Maybe because it sounds kind of British, and Americans think, oh, British is posh, is fancy. British accents are fancy. British, fancy, washroom. I don't know. Don't ask me. But that's what we have in our minds. So washroom, I think if you said washroom to me, I really wouldn't have understood what you were talking about. We say bathroom, we say restroom if you're being formal. Restroom. Everyone in America knows what a bathroom is. If you're being formal, you might say restroom. Nobody says washroom. What are you washing up? No, you're going there, well, not necessarily to take a bath. So I guess bathroom doesn't make sense. And you're not going there to take a rest. And you're not going there for a bath, unless you're at home. But that's only some of the time. And you might go in there to wash. You're probably always washing in the bathroom. Maybe washroom is the best option. It should be the toilet, wash, or might take a bath or shower room. It's what it should be. I have decided today.
Couch, Chesterfield.
Okay. Man, this is taking me back. This is from a very old video that I reacted to a long time ago of words Canadians say differently. And it had Chesterfield, which is a big fancy couch. It's not just a normal couch. I think it's a big fancy couch. Don't Canadians say couch as well? You can't tell me Canadians don't say couch. That would be too much for me to handle. That'd be more mind-blowing than the washroom. Chesterfield is like a fancy leather couch, and I think only some parts of Canada even say that. Or it's a certain type. But I've heard this one before, at least. But Chesterfield doesn't exist in America at all. No one would have any idea what is being said by Chesterfield here.
Garbage disposal, Garburator.
No. Man, I'm a little shocked I've never heard this one before. But at the same time, when on earth would I have heard a Canadian, like in media or on a YouTube video or in real life, when would I have ever heard a Canadian talk about a garbage disposal? That must be why I've never heard of this word. Garburator. Sounds painful. Sounds like a weapon or a procedure you don't want done. Oh yeah, they're doing the old garburator to him. Like, poor guy. Yeah, it's a garbage disposal. That thing in your sink that's like spins around and cuts up food and disgusting stuff under your sink where your water goes. I've never heard of a garburator. Is that standard in Canada to say garburator? I had no idea. Talk about a random word, garburator. That'd make like a good username on a website. Like if you're signing up for something, and you need a username, I am Garburator. Or like a villain in a movie. Garburator, at it again.
Bag.
Wow. Really? Beg. I mean, that almost sounds like B-E-G in America, like you're begging for something. Oh, I beg you to stop. But this goes back to how Canadians pronounce A's differently. Americans have a very strong A sound. Bag, or, whatever that sound is. Bag. And Canadians go for the beg. Beg. If you said beg in the United States, Americans would seriously not understand what you're saying. Unless you said it in context. Like, oh, can you help me carry that bag? And even then, I would be like, what did you just say? What do you want me to do? Because beg is quite a bit different than bag. Wow. I'm kind of shocked at how different some of these actually are between how we say things.
Tag.
Okay, that makes sense. Tag. Tag. It's hard for me to even use that part of my vocal cords. I never say words with that sound. Tag. Like I have to say egg and put a T. Tag. And I have to contort my mouth. Tag. For some reason. Wow. Tag. That is... The A sound is one of the most fascinating things about this whole video to me. The A sound. The difference in A sound. because it extends to so many other words. It makes so many other words sound different between American English and Canadian English. Now tag is no longer tag, it's tag. Bags are bag. And it sounds pretty different to me. If I wasn't reading it or being told what it meant, I really wouldn't know what tag or bag are. I'm worried like that it's actually it would be actually difficult to understand Canadians if they were talking to me about tags and bags. I'd be like, I don't know. At least I watched, now I know, so that's good.
Parking garage, parkade.
Okay, Americans always say parking garage, but I have heard of a parkade. That is, again, seems a bit fancy to me. I don't know why. It seems a bit British to me. Parkade. I kind of like it. I kind of like it being one word. I wouldn't mind if Americans started using parkade. It's kind of like an arcade for cars. Parkade. But it is fully cemented in American English. Parking garage. We park our cars in a parking garage. That is... I've never heard anything else. So this is a new one to me as well.
Mac and cheese, craft dinner.
Yeah, this is a funny one as well. Mac and cheese, which feels like a very, very American food. I don't know if it actually is, but like it feels very American. Mac and cheese for dinner. And apparently in Canada, even on the packages, it's craft dinner. But to us, Kraft is the company. Kraft is a company, Kraft, and they make a lot of items. So Kraft dinner to me, I'd be like, does Kraft make dinners? Like what kind of, is it meatballs and spaghetti or? But to a Canadian, that would instantly mean macaroni and cheese. Is that what you actually call the food itself? The cheese and the macaroni on the dish? Or do Canadians use mac and cheese as well? Or do you say Kraft dinner? This is a bit confusing to me, but interesting as well.
Pacifier, soother.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we would always say pacifier for that thing you put in babies' mouths that they like to suck on. I've heard binky in America. Never heard of a soother, but it makes sense. Soother, it soothes the baby when they are sucking on it. But I've always heard pacifier. Soother. I like soother. It's kind of nice because we're talking about babies and very gentle words, and soothe, it sounds nicer. I like soother. Better, actually.
The letter Z. Zed.
Canadians say Zed? I thought that was a European thing. Canadians are just out there saying Zed. I really thought that was only... I don't know why I assume anything at this point. It's not smart for me to do. Is America just the only ones who says Z at this point? I guess I've never really heard a Canadian say Z. Now that I think about it, what a twist. It's like the twist end to a horror movie. Where it's like, the music is playing and it's like, and they've been saying Zed the whole time. I'm like, what? I don't know why I'm alarmed. I know Zed is spoken around the world a lot for what we call the letter Z. Is Zed. I kind of like being unique. Maybe this is the American in me piping up again. I like that we're a little strange and we're the ones saying Z. I don't mind it. And I don't think at this point I could ever change it. But I know of Zed. I didn't know Canadians use Zed. That's funny. Okay, that's good to know. All right.
Thanks for tuning into this podcast, and we hope you enjoyed it, eh?
Wow. Oh, the A. Very good. That was great, actually. That was super fun. That was by Katie Rhea, and I got to give that a like. That was so fun. That's amazing to me. I'm kind of in shock right now. There were more than a couple very big differences between how Americans say things and how Canadians say things. We had different words for the same things like colored pencils and pencil crayons, that kind of thing, and pylon and traffic cone. And we also just have different pronunciations. More than I thought. Like the bag and bag. thing. I'm gonna be thinking about that all day. Bag and bags. But that's why I love it. I mean, this was so much fun and educational, honestly, to learn about all these differences. This was great. This was actually, the way they did this video was really fun and actually helpful. So I enjoyed this quite a bit and learned something. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment, perhaps with what you think about some of these words or pronunciations, or how common they are, or if you're Canadian, do you say things like how the Canadian here says them, or maybe you say some of the stuff like Americans say it, or if I didn't understand something correctly. Anyway, let me know. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Canada and Canadian culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.